My name's Lisa Ledger. I'm Foundation Principal of Baynton West Primary School, which is located in Karratha in the Pilbara region of Western Australia. We are an independent public school and we opened the doors to teach day 1 2013 with 350 students. We now are sitting on just under 600 students and we have been open 18 months. So we became a teacher development school at the end of our first year of operation, which was 2013. So at the moment, a lot of our professional learning is really targeting our network. And we have a really comprehensive network calendar. There's professional learning every week throughout the term, sometimes 2 or 3 in a week. And the exciting thing is they are local people that are running those professional learning events, and I'm really proud of them.
A teacher was selected from each of the schools within the Karratha area and undertook trainer-trainer professional learning in the Australian Curriculum English, and then we were fortunate enough to have 2 teachers who undertook that training. They came back and facilitated a lot of professional learning as a staff. The biggest challenge for us at the beginning of this year would be supporting the needs of teachers with the Australian curriculum. We have quite a range of experience with the Australian curriculum from graduate through to experienced. And part of that support we were able to offer was actually through targeted coaching. Because we have such a large number of graduate teachers, both in their first and second year, as an administration team, one of the things we decided to do this year was actually set up a graduate support group. And the idea being that we could target the needs of the graduate teachers, not just in English, but in all areas.
2 teachers and myself took part in professional learning in Perth. We identified those teachers as potential maths leaders. We were able to take part in a range of activities to do with leadership and maths, and that enabled those staff to have the capacity to come back and work with teachers with credibility on planning and on delivering good maths programs. Because the school has grown so rapidly over the last 18 months, we have 6 specialists who provide release time so that teachers can plan collaboratively. This timetable is quite complex and has changed on a number of occasions as a result of the growth of the school and the changing needs of our students and within the school.
My role as the English coach, every fortnight I get together with all the teachers in their year level groups and they come in and we do a planning meeting, and that meeting might look like doing an audit of what they have previously done in the term, and then I might do a modelled session, so I might model to them what it's supposed to look like.
This is my first year teaching and using Australian curriculum fully in the classroom, and what I've really appreciated is the support from the admin and the deputies and the other staff in first of all learning how to use it and then implement it in the classroom.
It's a great opportunity to have this, to develop my understanding of the Australian curriculum, and fantastic to have these mentors, very experienced people in helping me to do that.
As a Learning Support Coordinator, I have developed an individual literacy plan which links learning plans to the English Australian curriculum, which allows teachers to go back through the scope and sequence and plot where the students are at. After they have plotted the students' progress on the 3 strands, they're then able to create an individual learning program which enables whole class activities, small group and individual programs for that child. When we're reporting to parents, the Australian curriculum allows us to moderate where the children are at against the portfolio pieces which they have developed. It's a really good starting point also when we meet with the parents, because we can say your child should be getting a C, but they're producing this work and this is what we need to do to get them to a C level, and that's what we write on their learning plans, so we know where to go from then.
10% of our students are Aboriginal students, and within that 10% we have a number of those students not meeting the national minimum standard. So we have a program which is across all WA called the ATAS program, which is Aboriginal Tutorial Assistance Scheme, and within that those children are catered, they are taught, they are catered for on an individual level. So we were able to recruit an amazing teacher who is able to teach academically exactly where they're at, and we have plans around that. So she deals with them on a linguistic basis, really not looking at them as deficit in any way because of where they are, where their achievement is sitting, but really looking at them as capable learners who will do well.
ICT is one of the 7 general capabilities in the Australian curriculum, and as a peer coach we use the elements of the ICT general capability to integrate it across the Phase 1 learning areas. So Freya and I collaborate when we're planning and when we're teaching. We collaborate in everything that we do. Freya's very knowledgeable in the English, so she plans the English. I prefer maths, I plan the maths. We come together, we share our planning, we teach together, plan together, we do everything together. That halves our workload. When we created the planning tool, we wanted to cover everything. We didn't want to forget anything because there's a lot to remember. So on the front of the planning tool that we use, we have a section with the general capabilities and we have another section with the cross-curricular priorities, and then we can just drag them down if we're integrating 2 lessons together, covering different contents from different learning areas.
So the training I received was integrating ICT into the curriculum, but also as a peer coach for coaching other teachers into using ICT in their classrooms. It's been surprising, you know, watching the unintended outcomes when children are doing the things with technology. So in particular, I've noticed that there has been an improvement in the standard of work that the kids are doing, and they're achieving the curriculum goals now, especially within English. It's probably where I integrate it most, and I'm, you know, experimenting a lot more with integrating it during mathematics.
I have loved the Australian curriculum. I have used it in split year levels, using the scope and sequence to see where kids need to be in each year level and how it progresses, I guess, has been really helpful, seeing where they are, where they need to be, or if they need to catch up. And also not just in split year levels, but in your own class, like a straight class, you have differentiation, of course, so using it in that way to get the kids where they need to be, because they all have that curriculum entitlement, so getting them where they need to be.
With the Australian curriculum, because it's not mandated for us to teach in the 4 and 5-year-old classroom, I decided that I was going to create a document that links the different documents. So that's the Australian curriculum, the Early Years Learning Framework, as well as First Steps, and also the Kindy Guidelines, which is a new document that's just come out. So the document I developed is there so that I can embed content in what I'm doing in my class, but keep it play-based approach. So although there is a structure and there's content that I'm aiming for my children to achieve, I do it through playing games and engaging with them in socio-dramatic play and things like that. So I'm not throwing out the early childhood mindset. It's still very early childhood based, play-based, children interests, but having that intentional teaching, that focus to what I'm doing and that explicit instruction.
When implementing the Australian curriculum, one of the things that it forced, which was a fantastic experience for everybody involved, was conversations with our parent caregiver community about their expectations, their previous experience in the area of assessment and reporting. So we ran a series of information sessions, ongoing letters home, and it was ongoing communication, just so that when those reports came home, there wasn't any surprises or any shocks.
I'm interested in the Australian curriculum because as a parent I have a vested interest in my children's education, and I'm really encouraged by the Australian curriculum in that it's becoming a cohesive, across the board, a curriculum for Australia. And I'm also really excited the foundation, that core of the Australian curriculum is really promoting our students who graduate with, you know, an Australian curriculum education to be contributors to this global community that we are all such a part of.
I embrace the fact that children come to my school from everywhere across Australia. So this is like the standard railway gauge. We are all doing the same thing. And we're already seeing that. We're seeing children that come from Victoria, children that come from Darwin, children that come from, you know, the middle of nowhere. They're learning similar things. They're not all achieving at the same level, and they never will, but they're learning similar things. And I just think it's great. I think it's a great way to get everybody talking and everybody on the same page. My parents and the community in this school, they are all for it.